This is the hidden core, the emerald mirror, an ancient symbol reflecting the true meaning behind "as above, so below." Legends whisper that this is not just a phrase, but a living key, etched into the very foundation of reality. The Emerald Tablet, said to be written by Thoth himself, never meant for this truth to be widely understood, only for those who were ready to have their perception shattered and reborn. There is a strange silence when you first encounter the phrase. It feels like looking into a dark mirror at midnight, the room behind you empty, but your reflection not quite your own. For thousands of years, magicians, alchemists, and seekers wandered through ruined temples and dust-choked libraries, searching for a literal tablet, some artifact that could be possessed, decoded, and locked away. But the true emerald mirror was never meant to be found outside. It is a frequency, a silent resonance vibrating inside your bones, waiting for the right moment to awaken. Have you ever watched the surface of water just before dawn? For a split second, the sky and earth are indistinguishable, and it is impossible to say which is the real world and which is the reflection. That is the emerald mirror. As above, so below is not a law, it's a warning. That which you see in the heavens is only a projection of the shadows you cast within. The constellation of Orion, a memory of ancient architects, mapping their longing onto the sky. The swirling spiral of your DNA, the very signature of the cosmos, etched into your flesh. I remember the first time I touched this frequency. I was not in a temple or a sacred grove. I was alone, desperate, lost in grief. I whispered the words, almost a prayer, almost a threat. As above, so below. Something moved behind my eyes, as if a veil parted. Suddenly, my breath was not my own. The air vibrated, alive, heavy with promise and danger. For a heartbeat, I understood. If I dared look deeper, the entire universe would gaze back. It's no accident that Thoth, the master scribe, encoded his secret in paradox. As above, so below. It's a riddle for those willing to be undone. Those who wish to merely recite it, seeking comfort or protection, will find nothing but silence. But those who dare to mirror their own darkness, to bring the heavens down into the bones, will find the passage open. But beware, to look in the emerald mirror is to risk everything that once made you certain. Now, before you go further, breathe. Close your eyes. Listen for the faintest sound at the edge of hearing, the secret hum between your heartbeat and the world's turning. Repeat the phrase, not as an incantation, but as an inquiry. Let it vibrate at the base of your skull. If you feel a strange warmth, a pressure at the center of your chest, or a ripple of chills along your spine, do not run. This is the door unlocking, the first sign you have touched the mirror, the law of resonance. This is not a lesson for the timid. It is the living pulse beneath. As above, so below, the invisible thread that binds heaven and earth, mind and matter. Those who glimpse it know. Reality is not fixed. It is a dance of echoes, where each thought, each feeling, each silent longing sends ripples through the fabric of the cosmos. There's a strange cruelty to resonance. You can ignore it, deny it, mock it as superstition, but the universe does not care. The frequencies you harbor, the melodies you hum to yourself in the dark, are mirrored back in the world around you. It is not punishment, nor reward. It is law, cold as mathematics, yet alive with ancient cunning. Modern science, with its pride and precision, has begun to taste this ancient wine. Quantum physicists now speak of entanglement particles light years apart, dancing in perfect sync, each echoing the other's movement in an endless feedback loop. The mystics of India call it Nada Brahma, the world is sound. In Egypt, priests believed that speaking a word with perfect resonance could shape reality itself. In Tibet, monks still intone mantras for hours, weaving their inner world into the structure of the universe. They understood what physicists are only now rediscovering. Vibration is creation. Let me confess something. There was a time I believed the world was indifferent, that my thoughts were private, my pain invisible. But one night alone, voice hoarse from a silent scream, I sang a single note. It was a mistake, or maybe a last resort. The sound was ugly, cracked, desperate, yet the air thickened. A lamp flickered, the shadows bent. I felt my grief answered, not with comfort, but with a rising, crystalline tension, as if the universe itself was listening and responding. From that night, I could never again doubt that the world hears us and always answers. Here is the danger. The law of resonance does not discriminate. If you vibrate in fear, the world will echo fear. If you obsess over loss, loss will shadow your path. You are both the instrument and the composer. The ancient magicians warned, do not invoke what you are not prepared to receive. To unlock the emerald mirror is to stand naked before yourself. Every thought magnified, every wish amplified. That is the price. Now, a step for the brave. Sit in silence. Place your right hand over your heart. Breathe deeply, 7 times. On the 7th breath, hum not a song, but a raw, honest vibration, even if it trembles. Feel it in your chest, in your bones. Let your body become the instrument. As you hum, visualize the sky descending, the earth rising. For one moment, let yourself become the bridge between above and below. Do not be alarmed if tears come, or if laughter bubbles up for no reason. These are the first signs your energy field shifting, your resonance changing. If a wave of dizziness or a gentle numbness touches your skin, you are in the current. Let it pass through you. The shadow architect. Beneath every radiant vision, a silent architect waits in the darkness, shaping, sabotaging, or constructing the secret scaffolding of your reality. As above, so below, is not a simple ladder climbing up to heaven. It is a spiral staircase where every step upward casts a shadow downward. Ignore this shadow, and it will rule you from behind the mirror. Myth speaks in riddles, but psychology echoes it plainly. What you repress below will manifest above. The Egyptians carved their demons into the walls of tombs, not to celebrate them, but to keep them in sight. In India, the shadow is Maya, the ever-changing illusion that distracts the seeker. The Tibetans speak of hungry ghosts, shadows that haunt the living, born of forgotten fears and unfinished desires. Science whispers of the subconscious, the 90% of the mind that scripts your days while you think you are awake. You may feel shame, disbelief, or even anger at this truth. I did. I wanted to believe my nightmares were accidents, my failures random. But one cold night, as I lay awake and the house settled into a heavy silence, I realized that every fear I'd buried had become a silent architect building circumstances in my life that I thought were fate. The echo of my unspoken thoughts was everywhere, in the patterns I attracted, the betrayals I suffered, the doors that refused to open. Here is the paradox. The shadow is not your enemy. It is the blueprint, the unacknowledged architect, waiting to be seen. Thoth warned his disciples, face what you hide or be ruled by it. The emerald mirror reflects both your face and your shadow above and below, always equal, always intertwined. Now, a challenge. Find a quiet, dimly lit room. Sit with your back straight, spine a column connecting earth and sky. Close your eyes. Inhale slowly. As you breathe out, imagine exhaling black smoke, the unspoken fears, the doubts, the regrets you never voiced. On the next breath, inhale golden light. Feel it sink into your bones, filling the places where shadow once clung. Repeat this 7 times, alternating smoke and light. Be warned, you may see images or memories flash behind your eyes, some sharp, some blurred. Let them come. Do not judge, do not turn away. If the tears burn, let them fall. This is the shadow architect being seen, honored, released. Side effect? A strange weight will lift from your chest. Your dreams may become vivid or strange. Some report seeing synchronicities, patterns in numbers, sudden chance encounters, a sensation of being watched by a benevolent force. If you feel uneasy, remember, you are not cursed. You are awakening to the fullness of your being. The golden ratio within. Not all secrets hide in darkness. Some shine so brilliantly we mistake them for ordinary light. As above, so below, is encoded in your flesh, your breath, your heartbeat, an ancient equation stamped into every cell, waiting for the eyes that are ready to see. The ancients were obsessed with a simple ratio, 1.618. Phi, the golden mean. the spiral that shapes all growth, from the curl of a fern to the swirl of galaxies. The pyramids rise by it. The chambers of your heart, the spacing of your bones, even the silent pulse of your brainwaves, each echoes this divine proportion. What architects call perfection, mystics call the thumbprint of the Creator. You may have seen this pattern in art, in architecture, in nature's infinite designs. But here is the hidden cruelty. Most search for the golden ratio outside, in sacred geometry or cosmic alignments, and forget to look within. Thoth's true warning was never about building temples of stone, but of discovering the temple in your own being. As above the geometry of the stars, so below the geometry of your soul. I remember standing beneath the great vault of the night sky in Egypt, seeing Orion's belt mirrored in the stones of Giza. It was beautiful, but a hollow beauty, until I felt the spiral of my own breath, the gentle rise and fall as my ribs unfolded like wings. For the first time, I knew. The golden ratio is the signature of awakening, a frequency that harmonizes the outer and inner worlds. Here's a step that opens the gate. Find a quiet space. Stand barefoot, spine straight, arms at your sides. Close your eyes. On your next inhale, visualize a spiral of golden light rising from your feet, circling up your legs, winding around your body, through your heart, throat, and brow, then out through the crown of your head. Exhale, and imagine the spiral expanding outward, joining the great spirals of the stars above. Repeat this 3 times. Let yourself sway, dance, even if only in the mind's eye. If you feel a tingling at your fingertips, a gentle swaying as if caught by an unseen tide, this is the golden ratio awakening within. Some will feel an urge to move, to draw, to create. Follow it. Creation is the natural side effect of harmony, the frequency of intention. There is a sound that exists before words, a note, inaudible to the ears, but unmistakable to the spirit. It's the hum of intention, the silent command that shapes the raw clay of reality. As above, so below is not only a mirror, but a transmission. The quality of what you send out is the quality of what you become. This is where many seekers stumble. They believe the universe responds to pleading, to routine rituals, or empty repetition. They chant mantras without feeling, hoping sound alone will move the heavens. But the ancients knew that intention is the current that electrifies every ritual, every word, every gesture. The Egyptians believed the gods could hear the unspoken voice beneath the chant. In India, the power of a mantra is measured not in syllables, but in the bhava, the living emotion behind it. Tibetan yogis, meditating for hours in silence, generate fields of intention so powerful they can influence weather, heal wounds, or still the mind of another from miles away. I once witnessed a miracle cloaked as coincidence. An old woman, ill and bedridden, asked for a prayer. I visited, but I said nothing. I only sat beside her, breathing with her, holding in my heart a silent wish for her peace. No incantation, no dogma, just pure, unspoken intention. Her pain lessened, her eyes brightened. The doctors called it spontaneous improvement. But I know the field had been shifted. This is a warning. Your intention is the tuning fork. If your heart is twisted with bitterness, your words, no matter how sweet, will carry poison. If your mind is scattered, your prayers become static, lost in cosmic noise. To activate the frequency of intention is to become terrifyingly honest, to strip away the masks and let only the purest desire resonate. Practice for the courageous. Sit in absolute stillness. Breathe deeply. With each inhale, gather your scattered thoughts. With each exhale, release every impulse to impress, to perform, to get it right. When you feel a quiet clarity, place your attention on a single wish, not for gain or escape, but for harmony. Whisper it once, silently or aloud, letting the words ride the current of your true emotion. Side effects may follow: a sudden calm, a deep sigh, or the strange sensation that the air has thickened, alive with invisible witnesses. Some will see flashes of color behind closed eyes, or feel a gentle pull at the heart. The guardians of the threshold. No one crosses from below to above without encountering these sentinels, ancient energies, inner obstacles, or doubts masquerading as logic. The secret of as above, so below is not freely given. It is guarded by trials, paradoxes, and riddles designed to test your readiness. In every myth, the journey to awakening is lined with guardians. In Egypt, these were the Sphinx and the Anubis, each demanding the right answer before passage into the deeper mystery. In India, fierce deities like Kali block the ignorant from entering higher states, dissolving all that is false before one may taste what is real. In the Tibetan Book of the Dead, the soul must face visions of wrathful deities, manifestations of its own unresolved fears before it can ascend. Modern psychology names these guardians limiting beliefs or ego defense mechanisms. They manifest as skepticism, fear, impatience, or even ridicule from friends and family. The moment you begin to touch the living truth of as above, so below, the guardians stir. You may be struck by doubts. Am I worthy? Is this just fantasy? Or, perhaps, subtle obstacles arise, sudden tiredness, distractions, inexplicable irritation. I will not lie. When I first approached this threshold, I nearly turned back. My body rebelled, my mind filled with mocking voices. You're wasting your time. There's nothing here but emptiness. But the old texts and the living sages all agree. The presence of the guardians means you are close. They are the test, not the curse. Pass through, and the field opens. Here is a rite for the brave. As you prepare for any inner work, acknowledge the guardians. Whisper to yourself, I see you, I honor you, I am ready to pass. If fear or doubt arises, do not fight. Thank it. Sit with it in total honesty. Then, breathe deeply, 7 times, and on each exhale, see the guardian dissolving into harmless mist. Side effects can be peculiar. Some feel a surge of emotion, rage, grief, inexplicable joy. Some report vivid dreams, or a night of restless sleep, followed by sudden clarity in the morning. If you feel as if you are being watched, it is the field itself recognizing you as a seeker, the inner temple of silence. This is not a room you enter, but a state you awaken. As above, so below reaches its full power, not in words or rituals, but in the cathedral of stillness that lives within each human being. All true alchemists, all ancient mystics, returned here after their journeys to listen for the voice that comes only when all others are silent. It's a truth that feels almost cruel in its simplicity. The greatest secrets are not hidden in the pyramids, not buried beneath the sands, not locked in dusty scrolls. They live in the hush behind your thoughts, the silence after the final question, the deep midnight of the soul. Egypt's initiates spent 40 days in darkness, seeking this silent chamber. Indian rishis vanished into Himalayan caves for years, their only teacher, the pulse of their own breath. In Tibet, the greatest practice is not chanting, but remaining in unbroken, radiant silence. There was a night when I tried everything: chants, visualizations, ancient symbols traced in trembling hands. None of it worked. The more I struggled, the further I drifted. Then, exhausted, I simply sat. No effort, no seeking, just a listening surrender. It was then the temple opened. My breath fell away, my mind stilled. A deep, infinite silence pressed in from all directions, so profound it was almost terrifying. In that silence I heard it, the subtle hum that holds the world together, the hidden current between above and below. You may resist this, feel boredom, impatience, even fear. The mind will throw up every distraction, restlessness, irritation, wild thoughts. This is the final guardian, your own resistance to stillness. But if you persist, just once, you will touch a silence that is not empty but full, not dead but alive with presence. Practice for the truly ready. Find a space where you will not be disturbed. Sit or lie down. Breathe deeply, slowly, until the mind begins to slow. Do not try to empty your mind, just listen. Beneath every thought is a deeper quiet. If you drift into sleep, accept it. The silence will find you there. If you feel fear, let it pass through. If a tear comes, let it fall. After a few minutes, you may notice a gentle hum, a subtle vibration, a sensation of timelessness. The alchemy of the third eye. There is an eye within you, that was never meant to see the world, but to see beyond it, a faculty veiled by myth, feared by kings, nurtured in secret by those who understood the danger of true vision. As above, so below becomes literal here. To open the inner sight is to reveal that what is visible above was always seeded in the invisible below. Ancient Egypt guarded this knowledge fiercely. The Eye of Horus was no mere symbol, it was a living technology, mapped onto the very structure of the brain and pineal gland. In India, the Ajna chakra was spoken of in hushed tones, the command center, the third eye, the point where duality dissolves into clarity. Tibetan masters called it the secret gate. But the truest teachings warn, to open this eye is not to escape the world, but to see it as it truly is, stripped of illusions and comforting lies. It is here that skepticism often becomes violent. The world ridicules what it fears, and for good reason. To awaken the third eye is to see energies, patterns, truths that others cannot. At first, it may bring confusion, even terror. The colors of reality may sharpen, your dreams intensify, the boundary between waking and sleeping blur. Side effects range from headaches to bursts of creativity, sudden flashes of insight, or profound emotional swings. I remember the first time I saw with the third eye. It was not a vision of angels or spirits, it was the sudden awareness that every thought, every intention, was woven into the events of my life. I saw how every argument, every kindness, every shadow had been constructed by some deeper force within me. It was exhilarating and shattering. There was nowhere left to hide. Practice for those who dare. Sit in dim light or candle glow. Close your eyes and direct your focus gently to the spot between your eyebrows. Breathe in, and as you exhale, imagine a tiny violet flame igniting at this point, flickering with every heartbeat. With each breath, let the flame grow brighter, clearer, but do not force it. You may feel warmth, tingling, or gentle pressure signs that the gateway is opening. If you feel dizzy or overwhelmed, pause and ground yourself. It is enough to have touched the door. The echo of the collective field. This is the secret few ever truly grasp. As above, so below, is not a solitary journey. It is a vibration, rippling through the shared ocean of consciousness. Every time one person awakens, a wave travels outward, unseen, unfelt by most, but quietly shifting the destiny of many. Mystics knew this long before science caught up. The Egyptian priests gathered in circles, chanting together beneath moonlit columns, each voice blending into a resonance that seemed to open the sky itself. In India, the yogis meditated not for their own enlightenment alone, but for the healing of all beings, believing that every realized soul lifts the world a little higher. The Tibetan monks say that a single mantra, spoken with pure intention, echoes endlessly through time, softening suffering for generations yet unborn. Now, modern physics hints at the same mystery. Studies of entangled minds show that when groups meditate on peace, measurable changes ripple through entire cities, crime drops, tempers cool, hope stirs in hearts that never heard the prayer. We are fields within fields, all woven together by the ancient law, as above, so below, as within, so without. There is a temptation, once you awaken, to hide your light or doubt your influence. The world will tell you that nothing has changed, that you are still small, still powerless. But those are echoes of the old field, the dying whispers of a world afraid of its own potential. The truth is, every time you touch the emerald mirror, every time you shift your resonance, you send a signal across the grid of souls. A confession. There were years when I believed my struggles were mine alone. Then, one evening, in the aftermath of a silent meditation, a stranger messaged me, unprompted, to say that they had felt a sudden peace, a softening in their chest. There was no logic, no direct contact, just a shared field, a resonance leaping the gap between our stories. In that moment, I knew, the collective field is real, and you are a vital note in its symphony, a practice for all who wish to serve. After your next ritual, meditation, or breathwork, place your hands over your heart and silently offer your peace, your clarity, to someone you love or to all beings, known and unknown. Whisper, may this resonance lift the field, Feel the subtle current flow outward and trust that it arrives where it is needed. Side effects. You may notice people responding to you differently, more warmth, more openness, or even unexpected kindness from strangers. You might feel waves of gratitude or a quiet sense that you are not alone, no matter how solitary the journey seems. The living key. There comes a moment, after all the secrets have been whispered and every mirror has been faced, when you realize that, as above, so below, was never merely a riddle, a philosophy, or a code to be solved. It is a living key, an invitation to become the bridge between worlds, the vessel through which energy flows from the heights of spirit into the roots of matter, and back again. What began as legend, as a phrase echoing from the emerald tablet, now pulses within you as living experience. You have breathed the silence, sung the note, faced the architect, felt the spiral, set the intention, met the guardians, and awakened the vision that sees beyond. You have offered your resonance to the field, and the field has answered. No one leaves this path unchanged, even if the world appears the same. The final secret is this. You are the alchemist and the altar. You are the source and the reflection. The magic is not in the ancient texts or the rituals, but in your willingness to live awake, to let every thought, every word, every breath become a conscious act of creation. When you move with this awareness, heaven bends to meet you, and earth rises to support you. Above and below, within and without, are unified in your very being. Do not expect the world to confirm your transformation. Sometimes, life grows stranger, more unpredictable, or even more challenging in the aftermath of awakening. You may lose people, opportunities, identities that no longer resonate with your new vibration. This is not a punishment. It is the reordering of the field to match the truth you now embody. You are not alone. Every ancient soul, every hidden master, every seeker on this path recognizes you as kin. Before you go, sit quietly. Place one hand on your heart, the other on your forehead. Breathe in and whisper, as above, so below. As within, so without. The key is alive in me. Let this be your silent blessing. If you feel a subtle shift, tingling, warmth, even a gentle ache, trust it. You have crossed a threshold from which there is no return. And that is the greatest gift. If you have completed this journey, I invite you, I urge you to add your voice to the field. Subscribe to this channel, not just as a viewer, but as a guardian of the resonance. Like and share this video, not as empty clicks, but as a sacred act, your ripple joining ours, amplifying the current for all seekers who will come after. Comment with your affirmation, the living key is awakened, and let us witness each other, not as strangers, but as members of a silent, timeless brotherhood and sisterhood of the awakened. Together, we carry the ancient secret forward. Together, we become the miracle Thoth tried to warn us about.